Welcome to the Advice Show, media with the common sense approach. So we have a young man by the name of Rodney Axon at Brunswick High School in Ohio. Now, this young man overheard his white teammates using all kind of racial slurs, and when he decided to protest during the national anthem, it got much worse, even threats of lynching. Let's go ahead and roll the clip.
What's wrong with this picture? The national anthem is being played, but neither team was on the field to hear it. Rodney Axon was not going to stand out of protest because of a previous incident.
There was a few players in the locker room saying, we're going to use the N-word with a hard R tonight. And they didn't know my son was in the locker room. So at that time, he came from where he was at in the locker room and approached those guys and said, excuse me, what do you mean by that? They said, well, this don't include you. You stay in Brunswick. And he said, well, I'm African American. It does include me. So I appreciate if y'all don't say that.
Axon says some of the players used the N-word anyway. They went on the field and stood for the national anthem.
Another kid said it before the national anthem took place. So he kneeled down, took a knee, and prayed, along with two other kids that's on the team.
The backlash against Rodney has been vile.
He said things, called him a worthless N, and that upset him at that time. And it was other things said, fathers, he was ignorant for doing it. You know, he's making black people look worse than what they already are.
Rodney carries a 3.5 GPA, the highest on the team.
You know, did a lot of things in life to get to where we have to get to make sure our family was safe. And I thought moving to a community like Brunswick, we'll be safe. You keep away from gun violence, then you come out here and have to deal with racial things.
Now, let's add to the rest of this report because the report didn't have everything in it. And there's some things that we need to point out, too, what the dad stated, which is very important, but we'll get to that. Now, what the rest of this happened, that his teammates called him the N-word multiple times that day and did a Snapchat story with a note saying, F Rodney, let's lynch N-words. Now, these are not old men who grew up during segregation and with Bull Connor and all that other stuff. These are kids in today. So it lets you know that the current generation is already poisoned with that demonic doctrine called white supremacy, because that stuff is evil. In the technology age, everybody used to being around everybody, but yet they are still acting this way, and they're teaching their kids this. Now, as we scroll down here, the young man had wrote a note in response to this, where they kept telling him. They say that this is for everyone who calls me ignorant for sitting during the national anthem because I believe the racial inequality is real and living. This is for everyone who says you're from Brunswick. You don't face any discrimination. Let's stop right there. This is the problem with this whole thing. There are people in this country who feel black people are still their slaves on the plantation. Notice that they don't tell any other group of people what to do like they try to tell black people what to do. They try to tell us how to think, how to feel, how to protest, how we should speak up, how we not should speak up, when we should say something, when we not should say something. This is not 1716 or 1616. We're not on your plantation. We're not your property. You need to get off of that crap. Your slaves that you tried to hold on to for so long, they're revolting against you now. And there's nothing you can do about it. Continuing. This is for everyone who feels Rodney just wants attention. This is for everyone who's going to say it's just a joke. Finally, this is for everyone who doesn't see what's going on for African Americans in this nation. They see what's going on with African Americans in this nation. They just don't care. You know, one thing I have finally realized, we don't need to be pleading. We don't need to be begging. We don't need to be like, please feel bad for me. It's enough videos out there. I've done enough videos. I've shown enough stuff. If they don't have empathy and they want to change about something within themselves, then we need to stop wasting our time trying to convince them anything and worry about fixing our issues in our community and dealing with the battle that we have to deal with. He said, I will continue to sit. I will continue to be myself, even if it makes me he's quoted, nigger. I will continue to pray to God at night that racism ends. God bless. Now, of course, we all would like racism to end, but the author of racism will have to be the finisher of racism. And the author of racism in America don't really want to finish it because he would have to get rid of a system that benefits him completely. And he don't want to give that up. Matter of fact, he don't want to give up nothing to do with global white supremacy. But the brother has said something in the video that's really stood out. He said, I moved away from this one area because of the gun violence, and I thought basically I'm gonna move to the suburb area and I'll have that problem. Now I'm running into these little Klan members on the football team. So it's like the black man and black woman sometimes don't have a refuge nowhere. They can't be in certain areas within our own community because you have low income people who's trying to do crime and all this other stuff, who don't want to work. I'm not saying everybody's low income. No, I'm not saying that. The people who just don't want to do anything. Then you are a person that work hard, get away from that, try to move somewhere nice or whatever. And then now you have to deal with that. So it's like a messed up situation that we have to deal with as parents and this child. And you wonder why a lot of people all of a sudden becoming activists or, speaking up a lot more. How you think that child's going to feel now? Look at the experience that he's had. He has been called the word nigger at an early age. Of course, he's been called that before then, but he is dealing with this. What do you think his response is going to be? If he's anything like me, he's going to make a change and he's going to go hard against that system that think it's okay to do this. And if you kind of person have a problem with anyone speaking up, you're the problem. Because, we're the problem for speaking about it because we're not making them feel comfortable in their evil. Well, we have to keep speaking up. And if you're not an evil person, then, hey, you would be against this too, right? I mean, the good people out there who don't believe in things like this. But you know how a lot of them say, you leftists, you liberals that don't believe in racism. I mean, that's kind of how they say it because, unfortunately, there are a lot of people who are quote unquote conservative. They support people like this. And they're not being PC by calling the black people things like that. And that's fine. I'd rather you call me those names and say that stuff, just be upfront with it than try to hide and smile in my face and say you like me. But this story is just messed up. But keep protesting, keep taking a knee, keep taking a stand. Because the Star Spangled Banner is not for the black man and black woman of America. And we're fighting to be treated equally just as much as our white counterparts. Hit me up in the comments, future commentaries, subscribe.